Hello everybody and welcome to the Radical Race Series here from Mount Panorama. It's time for our traditional round here at Bathurst. This time round, the penultimate time this season. Season 2 of 2025 is drawing to a close. And we've got a great championship battle here in the Radical Race Series to enjoy for these final 2 weeks. First of all here at Mount Panorama, but at our championship finale at Interlagos, which is certainly the best venue for hosting championship finales, as we all know. It's myself, Ian Lillerian, James Parfitt with you for tonight's action. And it's our traditional round at Bathurst here, James. 11 drivers ready to take on the mountain once again in a track that's going to be all too familiar to all of these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it'll be easier than the Super Formula Lights race I did here the other day, where we started off with 33 and ended with 22 because 11 of them ended up in the wall with 3 safety cars. So I'm hoping we don't get that. 1, we still can't get rain. And 2, they don't do safety cars. So we definitely aren't going to get it. But I think these guys are going to have an epic evening of racing, I'm sure, and some great fights going on. We have just entered into qualifying at this moment in time. The likes of Simon Edwards, Paul LeMay, Darren Reynolds, George Gonzaga, Josh Reed, Jamie Bird, Marcus Neal, Phil Glover, Mike Busson, Luke Crowley, and James Barry. And we've got 2 races, 7 laps and 12 laps with a top 10 reverse.
Yeah, as always, which is pretty much a full grid reverse, really. That will be taken on for the feature race. And we'll see how easy or not it is to get through the traffic over the top of the mountain as well. We've just gone live for the start of qualifying here, so they're only just starting their first lap times right now, and Simon Edwards is going to set the benchmark for everybody. It feels like he wins the race to get out of pit lane first every week. In qualifying, but here he is leading the field around. Purple so far in the first sector, but there are a lot of sectors round here. Have a look at this over the top of the mountain. This is where the lap is really won and lost. Yeah,
absolutely. We can go on board, might be a little bit easier, showing his inputs and how he's going to control this as well. It's going to be incredible the way they run over here in these cars. Stopping north of 140 miles an hour, which might not seem quick, but when your butt's about 2 inches off the floor, it's definitely fast enough. So, you know, let's see how they get on. Horsey, you welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us here, buddy. But, yeah, these guys are going to be throwing this car around. 2 main opportunities for overtake coming out of Forest Elbow, going down into the chase, and then out of Hell Corner on the run up to Quarry. That's pretty much where it's going to be. That lap's going to be invalid because he hit the wall.
Pretty sure he did, yeah.
He did. He did.
Yeah. So that's going to be the end of that for Simon Edwards. He's actually had a purple sector taken off him as well, you can see, through the third sector. But Paul LeMay is not beating any of them at the moment. There finally beats one. Penultimate sector of the day, although immediately taken by George Gonzaga, who is going to get a good penultimate sector in there. So Paul LeMay will steal the early advantage there, and we'll see what he can do with it here in this session, because, yeah, he's been challenging Simon Edwards this season, and he's got 2 more rounds to continue that challenge. Over the line now for LeMay. He will set the benchmark just into the 59.5s, just ahead of Gonzaga. James in the wall. Reynolds in the wall down at turn 2.
Yeah, not quite sure. That's coming. Didn't even get out of pit lane.
What the hell's that all about?
Literally left pit lane and did that. Now,
oh no, this is attempt number 2. So this is how he ended up with the wall down at the end of Mountain Straight, I think, because when we cut to him, he was in that wall over there, not the one we saw for the first instance. There's actually been 2 goings on here. Let's see the second one on the brakes. Too late.
Oh no, it's not.
No, it's okay.
No.
How many times has he exited the pit lane?
I have no idea. I've got 3 in the last 5 minutes.
Dear, oh dear. You've got to be running out of laps doing that, haven't you? When you tow like that?
You definitely ain't going to make it. Like, he might not even get a time on the board here because he only had 11 minutes in the first place. And I've got a funny feeling this could be the one where he ended up in the wall. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So
that's another back to pit lane. But he is out on track. Paul
LeMay.
Flying.
Goodness me.
Dude, he has looked quick. Ooh. It's been absolutely amazing watching Paul this season. His growth, his speed, everything's gone up through the roof. He's done an incredible job.
Yeah, he's only getting quicker, Paul LeMay, and you can certainly tell. I mean, if you've been following this series for a long time, we've pretty much covered this series for 3 years now, I think. Maybe somewhere around there. And yeah, if you were watching right back at the very start of that time period, or even beforehand when I was covering it before this, Paul LeMay wasn't really anywhere near Simon Edwards, but now week in, week out, he's challenging him. 58-0. 5 temps quicker than Simon Edwards there. And Gonzaga only just in behind Edwards as well. He's another driver who's really improved, by the way, in that time period, just to continue that point. But what a time from Paul LeMay. Nearly 6 temps quicker than Simon Edwards.
Yeah, incredible. I told you, he's just been rapid all season. He's done an absolutely amazing job as Paul LeMay, and now is going to see what the situation will be for this young man from Somerset, from Froome in Somerset, of course. James Barry in second place. He's hit the wall, so it'll be another 0 for Mr. Buson there. Might be better off driving a tractor or a 10.
He'll be pleased to see you. His part-time boss comments will go unheard this week. That's what he calls you when you're not here, by the way. Our part-time boss.
Oh, is that what he says, is it?
That's what he says.
Thanks.
Yes.
Little rascal. I hope you put him straight and say to him, no, actually, he does do work.
Well,
you
don't
don't,
do
do
people
you?
who work part-time.
Don't, do you? You don't turn around and put him straight, do you?
We just have a bit of a giggle.
Dropping me right in it. That's what you...
Well, I'm not starting these accusations, but Mike Bruson will not be able to make that claim this time around. But hopefully, knowing our luck, this time he'll be off the podium. so he won't be here anyway. Let's hope we'll chat to him a bit later, though. We won't if he sets qualifying times like that one. 2:01.9. That obviously with the contact with the wall, though. Simon Edwards improving on his own personal best there over the line. It's not going to be pole, though, ahead of LeMay. Barry's done for the day, and it looks like LeMay is going to go even further. No, not quite in front. He is still around about what time Simon Edwards just set, actually. That wasn't too dissimilar at all there. Gonzaga just improved as well, but he couldn't get past Edwards either. And so I think for the top 4, that's pretty much it for this qualifying session.
I think so, unless Mike pulls out something amazing here. He's not going to really make an improvement. Luke Crowley's also not got a time on the board either. But he's a simple 0x, and that's the thing, that's the problem that's going to cost him. A simple little wall tap does cost him on that one, and they do end up with no time on the board. So, it's tough. It is tough here. And now, they've got to keep it out. The problem is they try and run so much of opening up the track where they know they have to open it up. But unfortunately, sometimes it just ends up getting a little bit too close to them. I do wonder whether or not that was another one on the inside of that wall.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. It doesn't have to be like a 2x contact with the wall. You just scrape it, 0x, and that's it for your lap. So Darren Reynolds, meanwhile, goes over the line, does get a time in finally, and we'll get ahead of Marcus Neal with that, and is at the moment ahead of Phil Glover and Mark Busson as well. So just getting a time on the board is very handy at the moment because of those drivers who haven't been able to do that. Phil Glover now will come up towards the line as well. He will hope to at least jump onto the 4th row of the grid, but might not be able to. Let's see as he pulls over the line. That might be that for Phil Glover. And is it a time at all? No, it isn't. So that's a disappointing session for Phil. Here comes Mike Busson into the final corner as well. Is this a time for him? It's a good time if it is. And there you go, 6th place. That is exactly around about where he needs to be. And that puts him on the board at least for this race.
Yeah, I think Luke Crowley's going to get a banker in well here. Anybody basically from 9th, which is Marcus Neal on top, basically just coming through Forest Elbow. He's got about 55 seconds to get to the end here, which is very, very close to him. But Luke Crowley, I think, just wants any time on the board. There we go, 2 minutes 1:52. So I think any time would have done him there. Marcus Neal, are you get that second? Be able to get the car to the end.
It's not going to be a good time, though. He's already spent 2 minutes on this lap. And he's still got 3 corners to go yet. That's not a time that he will look back fondly on particularly. So it's going to be Paul LeMay at the front end of the field here. And considering there's only a 2-point margin between him and Simon Edwards in the championship at the moment. That is going to be a very useful pole position indeed for him. We'll now see over the course of 7 laps of an opening race of the day whether he can keep him behind here. Edwards will start directly in behind LeMay, don't forget, on the starting grid, with Barry and Gonzaga on the other side, as we are about to see. That is the end of qualifying. We'll bring up the starting grid as we go forward to this 7-lap opening race here of the day. It is Paul LeMay who begins on the front, 300ths ahead of James Barry, with Simon Edwards and George Gonzaga on row 2. Josh Reed and Mike Booston on row 3 ahead of Luke Crowley and Jamie Bird, with Darren Reynolds, Marcus Neal and Phil Glover rounding out the field. LeMay in a good position here. He's got to execute now in this first race and take the win from here.
100%. The problem is, it's not the fact of being able to execute. The problem is being able to keep the car out of the wall. That's going to be the problem for Paul LeMay. Got to make sure that that opening lap is nailed 100%, and he's clear and he's gone. But isn't at that point, well, he could be in trouble. But as soon as you go down from Forest Elbow down to Conrod, you have got a draft and a half in these cars right the way down to the...
Absolutely. Especially in these SR10s. I personally think, I don't know anyway, I've been really enjoying the SR10 racing in the last few weeks, I've got to say, and yeah, I'm starting to maybe even prefer them to the SR8s to watch, to be honest. It's been absolutely fantastic racing recently in these, and the slipstream that you can get certainly is a big part of that. Let's see what kind of racing we're going to get, though, in this first race of the day here at Bathurst, though. There's some flickering drivers in the background. Phil Glover's not staying connected very well, but hopefully he'll get onto the grid now as the lights will come on. 7 laps here in the first race of the day at Bathurst, and Paul LeMay on the front. Trying to execute from pole position, underway here, and Simon Edwards immediately pulls into line in third there, taking the racing line, while LeMay just defends, and Barry goes around the outside of him actually, through turn 1. He's going to be edged out though, and LeMay will get to choose his own line on the way towards turn 2. Surely he will show James Barry the outside line on the way towards turn number 2. That would be the conventional wisdom here. Here he comes on the outside though, James Barry looking for a position, and he might even draft straight past him here into second place. Not quite, but he is quite far in front here. LeMay on the inside, though, will take the place. James Barry's going to be worrying about Simon Edwards, and he's just cut across him. He will at least take second place into the mountain for the first time, through the cutting and into the technical section. LeMay converts pole position into an early race lead.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen now all the way up through this mountain section. They're going to basically follow a leader. To be honest with you, nobody's going to do anything crazy. Mike Bousson has got Josh Reed in behind him, however. Josh really putting pressure on Mike at the moment. You see how this all goes, coming in through this section now, dropping in through Skyline, coming in through the S's. That dip on the inside, get it done. Through the dipper we go. Now on the run down of Forest Elbow, it's going to be whoever can nail this part of the racetrack will be on a run out for Conrod. And you can see straight away the guys out in front, Paul LeMay, James Barry, Simon Edwards and Gonzaga. This is where the attacks are going to come from at the beginning of the queue.
Gonzaga is closest to Edwards here, and I would have thought that there'd be a bit of single file out front here just to distance those out behind, but not at the moment. Here comes Gonzaga inside of Edwards here. Bousson and Reed go side by side as well. It's all on down here at the chase, and Edwards holds on. So does Reed. And so Bousson actually goes backwards. Jamie Bird moves up to 6th position. It's a break in the group now. The top 4 will get away because of this battle here for 5th position. Yeah,
I think Bousson made a mistake into the chase because he lost 2 places as well, and I think that was the problem for Mike. See him on the right hand side. Watch Jamie Bird just come into this action as well. I'm wondering whether or not there was a little bit of contact. No, Mike was very wow.
Well done.
Yeah, Jamie Bird come in like an absolute banshee and cleared him. But now James Barry running side by side again with Paul LeMay going into the beginning of the racetrack. Let's not forget the beginning part of the lap again. And if he's not making it through every time, he's just going to be following him every single time. So for James Barry, he's got to look that at one point he's got to make the move. But the problem is are we doing this thing that me and you have seen so many times here, Ewan? Is Barry waiting for the final lap? That when he's going to make his overtake? Or can he just not get through at the moment?
Well, I think through turn 2, he can't get through. That outside line is so off camber out there that it's really difficult to get past Paul LeMay on the outside like that, or did anybody, to be honest. We saw it on lap 1. James Barry was not only had his nose in front, he actually had half his car in front of LeMay, but because he had the outside line, he couldn't come across to the racing line. He couldn't make the pass, so unless he gets clear in towards turn 2, then he's not going to make the pass down there. It's down here at the chase where he's going to have much more joy, and especially if Paul LeMay goes wide like that. That wasn't a very good run out of Forest Elbow at all, and James Barry is going to roar past here into the slipstream. He's going to take the race lead at the end of lap number 2. He could not pass up an opportunity like that, and he goes through on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side rather, of the road. LeMay tries to tuck into slipstream immediately here because his championship rival's coming up on him as well. Edwards looking in the rear. Oh, and he gets it very wrong there. Just LeMay on the wrong line, and Edwards now is going to get some real speed coming off the corner on the way towards the final turn. Oh my word, this is a championship battle being writ large on the screen right now. Through to the end of lap number 2. Edwards can't get through on the outside line, but James Barry now leads by nearly a second.
Yeah, Barry's going to got away now. He's trying to escape up the road, leaving these two guys to fight. I can tell you, Jamie Bird has had some drama. We will have a look back at this once we go into this mountain section again, but you can see LeMay's time coming down 9/10 at the moment. Edwards coming in behind him. Gonzaga in behind that as well. Then Josh Reed. All of these guys still fighting, but as soon as we go into the mountain, I just want to find out what Jamie Bird got himself up to, because they're not going to do anything crazy. I was going to say a bit all crazy. It doesn't really matter which way round it goes. Up through this mountain section, they're going to stay single file because they know they need to. So let's have a look and see. First off, what Jamie Bird did. Oh, he tapped the wall there. He's a bit out of sorts already. This is going to be into Forest Elbow, I feel. Yep. And of it.
Was he hit by someone maybe as he tries to rejoin? Creeping.
Oh
no,
Jamie.
Oh, wow. And he smacks the wall quite hard there actually on the second part. Oh, and again, just to make sure the rear left suspension is absolutely broken. Although I don't think it is. He has hit the wall twice, and well, he'll get away with that somehow down here at Forest Elbow. Meanwhile, James Barry now leads by over a second. That just shows you one small battle can settle a race here, and he's already out the slipstream just about here, James Barry.
He's just touching it on, like, borderline. Whether or not LeMay's going to get anything, he's going to get under attack from Edwards. He goes on the defense once more. Paul LeMay sends it in a little bit hotter into the chase. He knows that Edwards not looking to come round. LeMay knows he can afford to go and send it in that deep. And at the moment, he is a little bit of movement there as well. They've got to be a little bit careful. Gonzaga's coming in the background. Edwards knows at this moment in time, he's almost begging LeMay to let him through. He seems to be a little bit quicker than Paul LeMay, but LeMay's just there. The horse, the stout horse that he is just defending like crazy. And Simon Edwards has got nowhere to go. Gaps extended, 1.2 now out in front.
I think it's done for the race win, to be honest, in race number 1. And that, I think, benefits Simon Edwards here. If they make this a battle for second place between Edwards and LeMay rather than a battle for first, there's less points on the line. So if it does go wrong, then you do lose out on less. But I feel like that benefits Edwards more than LeMay, to be honest, with only 4 races to go, including this one that we're on at the moment. Where does Judge Gonzaga fit into all of this as well? He's just been hovering in behind at the moment as well. And surely he's going to play a factor in this one at some point as well, as they get scarily close to the wall over the top of the hill there, through the mountain section again. And so far, LeMay has shown good defence. It's just a shame that he made that error, really, down at Forest Elbow that allowed James Barry through, because it's cost him the race as of right now.
Yeah, it definitely has here. Section. Do you know what? It's one of them where I pray at the top and I say thank you, Forest Elbow, and I'm through the side. That is the only way I make it through this mountain section every single time. Praying that when I'm going in and thank when I'm coming out, because other than that, I don't know what else to do, because at times I can actually get that section right and there's times when it just goes all wrong. Gonzaga here literally pushing Edwards along here. He's literally bump drafted him in along that straight. He's not making the move, which I think is crazy. I think the longer he leaves that move, the more difficult it's going to be able to get here. Does look like Buson been off track. Now I'll be interested to see where that is. I've got a funny feeling he is in the background. So whatever it is he did, he didn't do it that dramatically. But at the moment, these guys fighting is now letting LeMay escape. So maybe LeMay might have a chance of catching Barry yet.
Well, I think that says it all in that last lap there. Fastest lap of the race so far from James Barry, and no response there from Paul LeMay, I'm afraid. This is going to be a runaway victory, I think, for James Barry in this race. Race number 1 of the day. It is going to be between Edwards and Gonzaga, though, for third place. I think Gonzaga's trying to help Edwards a little bit here in terms of staying with Paul LeMay. I think Gonzaga is shooting for second place at the moment, and he knows that if he goes side by side with Edwards too early in this race, he won't be shooting for second place anymore. He'll be resigned to battling for third place.
Yeah, I think you might be on to something. You didn't really think that Gonzaga would help. I thought would have been more into trying to get whatever position he can. But maybe you're right. Maybe the Portuguese man of war here might be doing exactly what you said and sitting in behind him and just thinking, well, if I stay behind him here, I might be able to get 2 if he can get me up to Paul LeMay.
Yeah, well, I think that's where he's going with it at the moment. He's only got a couple of laps to figure this out, though. Don't forget, we are on lap 5 of 9, 5 of 7 either already. 11 lap race coming up. 12 lap race coming up. Second time round. Don't forget, here at Mount Panorama as always. In this multi-race format that we have now in the Radical Race Series and have done for a few years. LeMay really feeling the pressure now from Edwards, though. They won't be shy to battle each other, that's for sure. There's no incentive to wait for later, and so Edwards is going to go now inside at the chase. Oh, and very nearly off the road there, LeMay. He's very late on the brakes. Are they going to give each other space? They won't. And Edwards goes off the circuit. That's almost what Gonzaga was waiting for. Although he comes straight back on the circuit there, Edwards, right into the path of George Gonzaga, who almost has to stamp on the brakes there to avoid some contact.
If he didn't stamp on the brakes to avoid that contact, there would have been contact. Because you can see here, he gets chipped onto the grass, then he comes back on, and Gonzaga, that is a little bit of a questionable rejoin when you look at it from the bigger angle, because we would be sitting here going, yeah, that's not good. That's a little bit more careful on that rejoin coming straight across the track there. Because it did prevent George from going through, so, you know, how George will look at that.
Interesting. Well, I think they'll all have something to be aggrieved about there, maybe, between the three of them. Let's hope they can all settle it out on the racetrack here this afternoon as the final laps tick by. This is the penultimate lap now. Second last chance for them to work their way through. That was super close over the top of the hill through Reed Park. It seems that every lap they're getting just a little bit closer to the barrier. What it's about here on this circuit. It's an amazing section down the other side here as well, as you were talking about before. It is there's nothing quite like it. Downhill through the dipper. Now downhill again towards Forest Elbow. Insanely steep downhill here, by the way. Makes it a very long braking zone. That was a big slide for Gonzaga. That might be his hopes of a podium gone.
Yep. Dropping back as well. That's it. All the gaps are above a second at the moment. Barry out in front, 2 seconds behind, in front of Mr. LeMay. LeMay is 1.2 ahead of Edwards. Gonzaga has brought it back. It was 1.25, is now 1.1. And then Josh Reed tucked in behind 2.5 seconds back from that one. So at the moment, we're just for these guys to come back together. And the gap that's closing the most is Barry to LeMay. Final lap, though, I don't think he's going to be able to get there any more than I think the guys behind can get.
Well, looks like these positions are actually going to stay the same in the end because the gaps are all over 1 second. I mentioned earlier that Slipstream is very powerful in the SR10s, and that definitely is true, but you can make the difference as well through the corners if you're quick enough, and so far, in all of these battles, that has been the case. Jamie Bird in the background is trying to rescue a top 10 here, by the way, and get himself onto the front row for the second race. He's got Marcus Neal and Darren Reynolds right in front of him here. Is Reynolds just pulling over to let him through here? Looks like it. And Jamie Bird has just about been quick enough at the end here to rescue that top 10.
Wow. I think Darren Reynolds was probably like, I want to go on the front anyway. So you crack on. Darren's a newer driver into the series, still trying to learn the car. as well. So I think it's probably right that he's gone and done that and allowed Jamie to go through. I wouldn't want to be doing that from the front of the grid if I'm not used to what I'm driving. And Barry make it out for the time. My breath. So? Yeah, you always hold your breath though, because as you've seen with Jamie Bird, it's so easy to get that slide out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this time round, he's got it under control. And Jamie Bird looks like he's going to take victory here at Bathurst. Very impressive drive, I've got to say. Initially, he was very punchy and threatening on the back of Paul LeMay. Then when he got through, he immediately pulled an advantage that he hasn't since given up now. And at the end of 7 laps, he is going to take the race victory. A couple of seconds to his advantage. And he can relax into the final corner. As James Barry wins the first race of the night here at Mount Panorama. The penultimate round of the season, opening race goes to him. And that was pretty comfortable in the end. Now he'll have to think about doing it all again from the back of the field.
Yeah, top 10 reverse is going to be how he gets on. Something's happened down here.
Oh. Oh, wasn't concentrating by the looks of it.
Reckon.
Yeah, looking at something else probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Well, we've all done it. Oh dear, and now he's damaged. So this is going to be a bit of a palaver to get to the end. But there we go. He'll bring a bit of gravel onto the circuit as well for good measure. Yeah, that car's broken. Oh, now he's beached. What kind? I mean, that car's now stuck. Oh, there we go. Now it's and finally he's made it. They go half a minute after everybody else. He's finally made it over the line. So there we go. James Barry wins the first race of the day, 2 seconds in front of Paul LeMay in the end. Simon Edwards finishes third on the podium. George Gonzaga just made a mistake later on in that one, and so that's why that gap is quite so big. Josh Reed actually got quite close as a result as well. Mike Burson held off Luke Crowley. Kind of surprised those two didn't move forward actually, but they finished 6th and 7th. Ahead of Phil Glover. He was not far off the back of those guys at all. Marcus Neal finishing in 9th, just ahead of Jamie Bird, who was chasing them down all the way towards the end, along with Darren Reynolds, who had those issues on the final lap in the end.
Yeah, a little bit weird. I don't know what was going on. I'm trying to find him in a distance. Actually find him. So if he's here or not, to be what.
Yeah, I suspect it's just one of those things where you're just looking at another screen or looking not at the where you're going, and even in your relative box or whatever, and you just drift off into the side of the road and into the wall. We've all done it, or nearly done it.
No.
No? You're never not looking at where you're going. Goodness me.
Maybe. I may have done it a couple of times in NASCAR when I've got to look down at my black box and there's a car there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's very common occurrence, to be honest. But maybe that's just me. I don't normally crash when I do that. It's just one of those moments where you think, oh dear, that was close.
Yeah, but I do that in my normal road car as well.
Oh no, I don't do that in real life. Dear me, I'm not reckless. Dear me.
No, but you must be
more high stakes. What do you mean you pay more attention to your sim racing?
Have you never ever eaten while you're driving?
I know, yeah, but eating's not that distracting.
It is when I'm looking down and I've dropped a hot chip down between my legs.
Eat with your mouth, look with your eyes. What's so difficult about that?
Yeah, but I've got to look when I go and drop the chip at burning. You know what I mean? I have to look down because, there's things down there I don't want necessarily burnt. So I have to go find a chip.
Sausage. Anyway. Meanwhile, starting grid for race number 2 here at Bathurst with Jamie Bird on the front row. Marcus Neal will be alongside. Phil Glover and Luke Crowley will share row 2 with Mike Booston and Josh Reed on row 3. George Gonzaga and Simon Edwards will be next, and then the rest of them. Then Paula May, James Barry, and Darren Reynolds. Rounding out the field.
I was laughing and I hit the button by mistake. What's it doing? Stop it! There we go. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Welcome in, everybody, by the way. JPB, professional outfit.
Yes. Well, as always. Anyway, oh dear. Well, got disappearing cars on the front row again, I'm afraid. But let's hope Marcus New can sort that out before the lights go out here for race number 2 at Bathurst. That's going to make it very interesting indeed off the start of this one. It's Jamie Bird on pole, and he gets away well. He will take the lead quite comfortably ahead of Marcus Neal, as we've seen. Then Glover on the inside of Crowley will hold on to third, and that's a nice defence there from Glover. In fact, everybody gets through turn 1 quite nicely there. Side by side between Barry and LeMay further in the background. Here comes Mike Booston. One of the favourites for this second race, ran really well last week in race number 2 as well. Now in towards turn number 2. He's on the outside line, getting close to Glover as he's braking late, but he'll get through there, even though he's on the outside line because he's got his whole car in front. Edwards, meanwhile, goes backwards. He went wide there through turn 2. James Barry has got ahead of him, and so James Barry's up 2, past both of the championship contenders.
Yeah, Edwards ran wide into 2, and that allowed Barry to go underneath him, and Reed, mind you. And again, they're side by side here. And involved in any of this, but Jamie Bird got an opportunity to take a win in race number 2 here. Oh. Not quite sure why Crowley would be attempting this, but he is going to attempt. No, surely not attempt.
My goodness. Well, he half stuck his nose down the inside there, and Booston was almost forced to give him the room. And that was all sorts of heart in mouth. There. Now again inside at Forest Elbow, not quite. Oh, and Neal off the road, Marcus Neal. And this is going to send a real grenade into this group now. They're all going to scatter all over the place here. Crowley's going to be under pressure here from Reed. And then the championship contenders are going to be getting the double, triple slipstream here, especially Edwards. Reed pulls to the left-hand side. Gonzaga and Barry are going to be right in the slipstream with one another here as well. Here comes Barry. Reed backs out of it. Barry's going to go for this. Oh, he's not quite going to go all the way to the inside. Reed just about comes across on Gonzaga, who very nearly hit by Barry there. Edwards, in the meantime, goes backwards. He's off the road. Edwards off the road, and he's down to the back end of the field here. We'll get the look back at that in a moment here. Glover's on the defensive meantime. Jamie Bird is well out front and surely well on his way to a race victory already here. Phil Glover defends again, this time in towards turn number 1, and so good speed in race number 1. If he can hold on to these places, he's got a chance. But no, he slides out of turn 1, and now he's going to be freight trained. Here comes Luke Crowley, who's on his inside line. Here comes Gonzaga and Reed and Barry. Oh, it's 3 wide. Go on the grass for George Gonzaga. Surely this is not going to work. Oh, they're going to squeeze it 4 wide very nearly. There's contact. Contact again. Contact again. Oh, they've got away with it. I can't believe it. Through turn 2, they've got away with it. James Barry hits the side of Glover, and LeMay slips through. They've all survived, unbelievably, at the end of the straight there on lap 2.
How did they survive that? We're going to have a look back. They're going up through the mountain, but look at this. Gonzaga takes it 3 wide. Reed almost comes in and takes it 4 wide at one point. Look at that. There's contact. Gonzaga and Crowley, Reed and Glover, and then Barry and Glover. How did they all survive that? I do not know, but that is the first time we've ever seen them try and even go remotely 3 or 4 wide here. That was just bonkers.
Tried to 3 or 4 wide on Mountain Straight at Mount Panorama. Unbelievable, really. Simon Edwards, by the way, dropped to 10th place, as we saw, and it looks like there's been, well, Reed's dropping down the field a few places, so not sure what that's all about, but Josh Reed drops to 8th position here in the field, and that is promoting Glover, Barry, LeMay all up places. Barry's going to get into the top 5 now at the expense of Phil Glover as well down the straight, side by side over the rise in the Conrod straight, and he'll go through there, will Barry, on Glover, who comes back on the inside.
Phil.
He's having a go, but James Barry holds on. He's back in the top 5 again now.
Yeah, Phil there as well. It's been one of the things he's been trying to work on is that not just rolling over and letting cars through. He has been trying to defend, and he did so well during the lap that he had everybody packed up behind him. And then it just this one turn one, and it all goes a little bit wrong. He hasn't shut the door quick enough here. LeMay's going to go back at him. Don't do that, Phil. Go back at him like you have been all the way from the beginning 3 laps of this race. Don't start doing what you did before and just letting him go through. Come on, son, have some of it as he goes down the straight now. Coming into Quarry, Phil Glover straight back through on LeMay. Got to run it in deep though, Ewan. He knows this. He's got to run it in and carry that speed around the outside. No, just goes for 1 but loses 2. What happened to Simon Edwards, by the way? A little bit.
So, it's a stack up, and that's pretty unlucky. That's unlucky.
Does do something else here by the cat.
Wow. When it rains, it pours, and all that. He's gone for a spin and drops to 10th. Wow. That is Simon Edwards in big trouble here, especially when you consider Paul LeMay up in 6th place right now, and he could gain some places. Having said that, all of the 5 guys in front of him are pretty quick, and that is going to be difficult for him to make up any more places. But Simon Edwards has got an awful lot of work to do there. I'd expect that LeMay is going to be leading this championship in this case, going into the final round.
It could well be an internet course, but we're going to find out once, obviously, get the standings. But I think for a minute it could well be in the lead here. Phil Glover and Reed going at it here. You know what he's trying to do, but he's just not executing. So close to being a regular field runner, Phil, that just got to counteract the defense over the mistakes he's saw it into one where he made a mistake and let everybody just come through in a Banshee. Then you saw him again just going with LeMay going in a second corner, and then you've just seen it then again from Phil Glover. So it's get where he's going, but he's just got to consistently put that.
And there he goes inside at turn 2. That could have done with a bit of defending there from Josh Reed, but Glover with a free invitation to fire down the inside and make his way through, and that was pretty well done. Inside line for the next corners as well. Phil Glover will be in 7th position without too much further complaint there, and that will give him 7th place for now. But why Josh Reed didn't bring it over and defend there towards turn 2, I don't know. I can certainly, I've not seen Phil for a little while in this series. I can certainly notice the improvements in terms of defending and in terms of wheel-to-wheel racing, because you're right, back in the day, he did used to just let everybody through, almost to not get in their way and just make sure he doesn't get involved in an incident, which did always work, of course, not getting involved in an incident. However, it is much better for his race if he can hold on to places like you're seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the things about this, where I've spoken to him and I said to him, I'd love to see you're getting the speed, but you're just not getting that passion that you need to hold on. He said it was something to work on. He is working on it with Simon Edwards every single week. I think they spend a day together, or it might even be Wednesday, where they spend together and they work with Edwards, works with, helps him out and tells him what he's got to do and stuff like that. 2 weeks, I think, here, and Phil even said he knows he's got to work on that racecraft, attack, massive racecraft that everybody else has. And once he can get that and he executes, I think middle of the road up front here as well. Is Barry going to go for George? You're not in a championship fight with Barry, mate.
He just realises that if Barry's in front of him, he might go a bit quicker, and he might be able to tag on to the back of him and get towed along here, because Bousson and Crowley are just up in front. I don't think anyone's catching Jamie Bird here this afternoon, but he can certainly get onto the podium again. I think this is Gonzaga thinking a little bit about that podium again.
Yeah, I don't. Well, not now.
He's not thinking about it anymore. Oh no! That's the big crash. He's into him. LeMay, who is surely on course to become the championship leader at the end of this afternoon, has smashed into him over the top of McPhillamy Park there. There was no chance he could have seen what was coming. And Paul LeMay is in the wall. That's a relief to Simon Edwards, who's going to come flying through there on the screen. George Gonzaga gets it wrong. Oh, my word. It's through Silman Park here initially. He grabs the wall on the outside, smacks the wall on the inside. He's just over the rise of this hill, and he's still moving because that car can't get stopped just yet. Paul LeMay didn't know where to go. Smacks straight into George Gonzaga there. What a shame for Paul LeMay.
Yeah, I just want to see this on board. I don't think he saw anything. Oh.
Which bit?
Watch his steering wheel turn into him. Whether or not he thought George was going to make it.
Yeah.
No, but Darren Reynolds is I'm here. Oh.
Let's have a look.
Oh, he has. Oh.
Oh.
Edwards
Goodness
not
me.
having a good. Like,
No, I mean,
no.
neither's LeMay. Nobody is. If four of them are in the pit lane already now.
Bonkers. Edwards, Reynolds, Gonzaga, and LeMay all in pit. What names you? Oh, what names you?
Yes, I mean, yeah, certainly three of them would be contenders for the race, but they are no longer. They're in pit lane. Edwards wins the race out of pit lane, though, and he will gain some points back on Paul LeMay in that case. Goodness me, what a bizarre second race we're having here. Mike Bouson's into second place. Oh, and off! Oh, nearly. Crowley there so nearly went in the wall, but he just about stopped himself.
Just got that car stop there. That was a great job from Crowley. Now we're going to be looking at James Barry. He trying to get past Mike Bousson.
Yeah. Well, there are 6 laps to go. Maybe he does have time to catch Bird.
Oh. That would be nuts if Jamie Bird gave up. Last lap time, 150. Barry, 157, 1.1 second. No way. Surely for James Barry, he would.
Yeah, I think this is possible. It depends how much Bousson fights with him, actually. We'll see if he does. But 59.8, I mean, a second of that would give him a lap and a half. And that's a 58.8. So, yeah, this is absolutely on for James Barry. He's unbelievably quick here today. As Paul LeMay, by the way, comes out the pit lane, he is in 10th place.
Yeah, he has. After his colossal crash there for Paul LeMay. But surely there's Bousson, it can't let this go. He's got to be able to get back at him. They're going to catch LeMay as well. Be interested to see how LeMay plays this now. Whether or not this is going to be a wait till the other side of the mountain before I let you go or not. But he's surely not going to be able to move out the top of the mountain out the way here.
Let's see how they do this, because lap traffic at Mount Panorama is not the greatest thing to try and deal with. He might go straight on here. No, he's going to carry on. There's that little bit of tarmac to the left-hand side that you can just use a little bit of to let somebody through there, if at all possible, but not this time. Barry's still gaining time anyway, though, on JB Bird, and he's putting distance into Mike Bousson. I don't think anybody can stay with James Barry here. This is unbelievable. Out of Forest Elbow, he's very close to LeMay, who will let him pass now. Yeah,
LeMay will let him pass out. I hope that is fixed for her. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Apparently my mic was cutting in and out, which I didn't know about. I'm presuming it wasn't cutting in and out for you. But now we're going to see if Mike is going to come back at him here. No, Paul Slot's being back behind. Mike losing a little bit of time there, unfortunately for him. But Darren Reynolds having a bit of a rotten race. He's just had another incident. 3.6 seconds now for Jamie Bird. So he surely can't get caught. Can he? Can he really?
I think he's going to get caught. Whether he's going to win the race or not is a separate discussion, but I think he'll be caught. Last time round, 9 tenths of a second gained, 5 laps to go. That's 4.5 seconds if he does that again. And there's only 3.5 right now to lose. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a battle for the win before the end of this race.
That's bonkers. That would be bonkers. Bird cannot let this happen. He's driven so well. He got away at the front. He escaped as well. He did an absolutely amazing job. He's got to up this pace. He's got to take more risks. He's got to get this win. 4 laps to go, 3.5 seconds, 1:59.3, 1:58.4, 1.1 seconds per lap. 1.1 is going to take him to 9:10, possibly lap 11, where they're just about to catch each other. So it could be a 2-lap epic fight if that is what's going to happen.
I think we are going to get at least a couple of laps of fighting here. And he was a bit shaky over Skyline there, was Bird. A little bit out of shape. Oh, look at that. So close to the wall as well. Through and down the other side of the hill. They now go. And he's sliding his way through Forest Elbow as well. The pressure maybe getting to him a little bit. 2.7 seconds, 2.8 actually, as they come out of Forest Elbow. Other battles that are going to happen include Simon Edwards probably getting past Marcus Neal, you'd expect, before the end of this race. 2 seconds or so. That's not a very big gap, though. Other ones, well, I'm not sure there will be too many more, but the battle for the race lead is going to be a fierce one. Still 4 laps to go for Barry to get there and pass him, and that was wide from Bird as well.
If you're ever going to give it to the person in front of you, behind you, you might as well do it that way. Now, you say about Edwards catching Neil, right? Let's not forget Edwards has had a rotten race for all of this. So at this moment in time, I wouldn't put it past Marcus Neal to stay in front of Simon Edwards, to be honest with you, currently at the moment, because just the race that Edwards has had, it's been a little bit rotten. Has he got all of his steering? Yeah, everything's fixed. He went in and got his sparse repair done there as well. But I agree with you as well. He said this is hell of a charge from Barry, and it is at this moment in time, catching Jamie Bird 2.4 seconds, and we're on lap 9 of 12.
This is on here. It's absolutely on for the race win in this one. 4 laps still to go, including the one that they've just begun here, the 2 leaders. Edwards is catching Neo now. He did repair that damage, but yeah, he will be toning that back a little bit further down the back end of the field. That puts 3 positions between himself and Paul LeMay, and should give him a nice little bit of an advantage. Whether he'll get the championship lead or not, I don't actually know. Going into the last round, it's going to be quite close, though, is going to be the point. And we will watch Interlagos next week with interest, because as we all know, that's the place where you have championship finales.
And the best place to have them as well. Every league, if you're listening, put your final round at Interlagos. Look at that. 2 tenths over 2, over 3, over 4. He's got another tenth on him. 5 is just as they go round the kinks down here. That's 2, 3, half a second already. What's he going to do here as well? But no, not really unbiased there, buddy, are you? Come on, Barry, he says in YouTube chat. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, possibly 8 tenths already. What's he going to get as he comes over the line here? That's going to be the challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be about a second, isn't it? Let's see. 59.2. One of his better laps, actually, from Bird, but Barry responds 9 tenths quicker. 58.3, and that wasn't even his personal best. Bird set a personal best lap time there to reduce his losses to 9 tenths.
Yeah. He needs to keep it at that, though. Well, it ain't going to matter. He needs to be less than that, isn't it? 9 tenths is only going to take him to half a second away on lap 11. He's going to have another lap in a bit, isn't he?
On Conrad Straight, just after the trip over the mountain this time round, Barry's going to have slipstream, and that'll be the first chance to attack. So effectively, he's going to have 3 chances down at the chase and 2 chances at turn 2. 5 overall around this lap, and any other half chances that you might get in an odd way around other parts of the circuit. But 5 clear-cut chances for James Barry between now and the end.
It's here. Look at the gap come down here. How is Bird losing speed on a long corner? That's what I don't understand. Here I get, because I'm scared of going through here. I would lose chunks of time going through here. I understand that, but 9/10 here as well. Oh, Bird. You've got to go, son. You've got to go. Somehow, somewhere, he's just got to have a go here. We'll keep an eye on the lap time over the next lap. Barry's coming at him. Now, what we don't want is Barry to go up and just breeze straight past him, right? I'd love it for Jamie Bird to give a good old defense having a go. Because he surely doesn't want to lose the lead this close to the end without putting up a fight.
Yeah, he will fight to the end of this race, that's for sure. And with 2 laps to go, he's got no choice really. Another 9/10 lost. Fastest lap of the race. Jamie Bird continuing to go faster. Personal best all round for him, but purple laps from Barry, sorry. And, well, this is, I was probably over-egging it by saying that was a clear-cut chance into the chase last time. Probably same this time round. Bird has taken 2 chances away from Barry just by delaying his catch a little bit. And, you know, you can turn your nose up at his lap times because he's losing so much time to James Barry. But Jamie Bird there, with those last couple of lap times, has just prevented James Barry from having a couple of clear-cut opportunities that he otherwise would have had at making this pass for the lead. Now he'll be down to 3 clear-cut chances in the last 2 laps. Oh, and Bird strikes the wall.
Bird almost gave him one. Gave him one opportunity there as well. Mountain battle, here we come. Absolutely. I think this is going to be now really, I don't really feel I need to bring up the lap time, the previous times anymore, because you can literally see the cars on the racetrack here. Now, Paul LeMay is not in this battle, but I can tell if I was Jamie Bird, if I was Bird, I'd use him. Just, oh no, I won't, because LeMay's in the way of the wall. Oh, well.
He's going to finish 10th. That is pretty much certain. But who's going to finish first? It's Bird or Barry. Unless they take each other off, of course. Penultimate lap of the race. Jamie Bird defending for all his worth. But already this is going to be James Barry's position. And he's through already in towards the chase. There's nothing that he can do. James Barry is inevitable here at Bathurst. And he's got the race lead with a lap to go.
Oh, that's it, I think. I think that's Bird done. I think you're going to see Barry escape up the road a little bit now. And that final battle, I think, is finished. Buisson should grab a third. He's got 11 seconds behind these two already, which just seems bonkers. But he's got 5.5 seconds to Luke Crowley. We was hoping it wouldn't happen, but it did happen. He just breezed straight up, straight past. See you later. Great recovery. Got to be honest. 4.8? I think back, yeah, maybe even more than that, and he managed to get it back and overtake him, so fair play.
And 9 overtakes over the course of the day as well. Only 2 of them made in the opening skirmishes, so yeah, a very, very good race from James Barry, and thoroughly deserves the double victory here tonight. He's been absolutely dominant. Fair play to Jamie Bird as well for putting up such a fight. Don't forget, this all stems right to the very end of race 1, sorry, where on the penultimate lap of the race, going on to the final lap, he took that 1 place to get up into 10th, and he started on pole for this one. You know, people say for good races, well, if you win one, it doesn't count for as much as a qualifying race when the grid's set by qualifying, but James Bird's had to do a good job both in race 1 and in race 2 to hold on to that lead for so long.
Yeah, he has, and now he's reaping the rewards, isn't he, in a roundabout kind of way. He's going to finish second. Bird, Barry there just managing that double victory. I think that's what makes it even more impressive. He started at 10th, so there as well. Hang on, this might not be over with Slipstream on a downhill bit. Yeah, he's too far out, but he can't catch it 1.6 seconds back, mate, unfortunately for him. It is James Barry. Barry's just got to make it through the last couple of corners, and done and dusted for the insert name E-Racing team.
James Barry is going to do it again. Race 1 victory by 2 seconds. He's going to do a very similar thing in race 2. From 10th to 1st, James Barry doubles up at Bathurst and takes 2 victories in one night on the penultimate round of the season. Jamie Bird finishes in 2nd position, with Mike Bousson joining them on the podium. In the championship, Simon Edwards did get past Marcus Neal in the end, by the way, and so he will finish in 7th place, and that will be pretty beneficial for him in the championship. Oh dear. And this is Paul LeMay. He hit the wall, and he will be confirmed finishing in 10th.
I was just seeing if he was going to try and get it back or if he's going to jump it back. No, he got out of the way for Simon Edwards. That's proper smashed up, isn't it? That poor car as well. Unfortunately, I can't show you where it happened. Oh. Hello. Why
Bousson went full throttle into the wall. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh dear.
That's a bit rude.
Well, yeah, if we go back to the start of that all, he accelerated straight into the wall. I mean, literally straight on at the first corner after the finish, after the checkered flag, of course.
Why would he do that? Just for a bit of fun, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just for a bit of a laugh, a giggle.
It looked quite impressive that he was on his roof, though.
I thought you were going to say impressive that he finished 3rd.
Well, that as
yes,
well.
Here it is. Have some of this.
Wow.
Oh dear. Wow.
Look
Like a trampoline.
Look how far he come back. That's nuts.
That is crazy. And then Josh Reed finishes the job.
Look.
Throwing him around like a toy.
He's like a greyhound being tossing around a dash hound there, isn't he? Unfortunately for Mike. That was cool.
Anyway, James Barry wins the race at 1.8 seconds in front of James Bird in the end. It was Mike Bousson also on the podium. Luke Crowley finished in 4th place with Phil Glover running out the top 5. Josh Reed just a few seconds further back than that, with Simon Edwards finishing in 7th. Just passing Marcus Neal towards the end. George Gonzaga was 9th. Paul LeMay's couple of issues got him a lap down, finishing in 10th, with Darren Reynolds rounding out those in the field. Let's chat first of all to Mike Bousson, shall we? Who finished in 3rd place in that second race tonight. Congratulations, Mike, on finishing on the podium in race number 2. How did you find that second race?
Quite bored, to be honest. I think that's more luck than skill. I think I'm just lucky to get round, to be fair.
And then you decided to liven things up at the end of the race by crashing into that trampoline of a barrier at turn 1.
Sticky throttle, that.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't intentional.
No, well, you know. Thought I'd give it a go, try and jump it.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Bousson.
Oh, well, I'm glad to see you're in tonight. Nice to see that you've made the effort.
Yeah, what's all this about part-time boss malarkey?
Well, you know, you're sort of very aloof, you know. I'm just glad to see you're, you know, back earning an honest crust rather than taking and earning off the hard work of others.
Oh, really? Is that what you think?
Well, in my head, that's how it works anyway.
Yeah, you wish, mate. I'm not Tesco's, buddy. You know what I mean? Let's be real about it.
Well, you know.
Well,
I'm glad to see you're here supporting you and
yeah, well, I thought I'd come
go.
back and, you know, just to see how you're getting on. I thought you might have missed me.
Yeah, I go to sleep pining for you. It's like
I did hear that you keep asking about me every week, so I must be doing something right.
Well, I'm hoping if I do better, you know, if I get a top 3 next season, maybe you'll send me a pillow of just your face on it, and I'll tell you that.
I'll send you a pillow.
That's all I need.
I could drive 20 minutes up the road and you could take your own photo, son. You're literally 20 minutes up the road from me.
But to be fair, it needs a bit of Photoshop. You know, it's not naturally beautiful, is it? You know?
Son.
It needs a little bit of work.
You cheeky son, you are.
We've derailed the show. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, let's get back on track. Don't have anything else to ask you, Rose. Mike, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or whatever? Anything else you'd like to say before you leave?
Shout out to the winners of Eurovision.
Who was that?
I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but whoever they are, well done.
Wasn't it Israel?
Was it?
I think it
No,
was.
couldn't have been.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Take-
I wasn't
take-
paying attention.
Better take that back.
No.
Better take that back. That's a political nightmare.
Oh
that
no,
one.
you're right. It was Austria. Sorry, I thought
Oh.
you're lucky.
Oh yeah,
Everyone
No,
loves
the
Austria.
runner-
That's
mixed up
fine.
all the time.
Yeah, Austria won. Israel was second. Estonia was third. Sweden was fourth, and Italy was fifth. So you were almost there, Mike.
Oh, yeah, thank God for that. That's next.
Anyway.
Next, I'll be cheering on Putin.
Oh.
Get me having a right old mess here.
Don't-
Right.
Get out.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Oh right, that's an early one. Merry Christmas.
Yes, it's almost. It won't be long. Bye.
Bye. Oh my God.
Right, Boosted. Oh dear, he's good value, isn't he?
The most bonkers character you'll ever meet in your life. There's
Oh,
no
dear.
filter.
Right.
There's no filter with Mike, unfortunately. Sorry, guys, if
Let's,
anybody got a little bit offended by that, but well, tough.
let's
There you
let's chat to. I'm sure it's all fine.
Oh, dear me.
Let's chat to someone more serious, shall we? James Barry, who's taken 2 victories here tonight at Bathurst. Oh, sorry, I've interrupted your conversation.
No, I was just saying it was karma for Jamie for the qualifying incident.
Well, yeah. We'll get to all of it, but I want to chat to you about race 2 first of all, and that run through the field. First of all, before you got to Jamie at the end of the race, I mean, 10th place to first in the end, but how were those first few laps coming through the field?
They were pretty relaxed, to be honest. Compared to, I did the SR8 here a couple of weeks ago, and I went from 18th to second on that day. So going from 10th to first wasn't too dramatic compared to that. It was good fun.
And in the end, you did get past Jamie Bird. Did you feel there was a sense of sort of inevitability that you were going to get past, or did you certainly still feel the pressure there later on in the race with time running out, of course?
Yeah, I mean, here it's all about like not making mistakes, especially running low downforce, which I'm not really used to. But I just knew that I saw his lap time, so I thought if I just don't make mistakes, then it will naturally come. So I wasn't too worried about it.
Well, congratulations on taking 2 wins tonight, James. Thoroughly deserved. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just shout out the whole league because I've not been here for like a few months, but it's good to see that they're still going. And shout out to Simon and Paul LeMay as well because I've seen that they're really close in the standings, and I've not been following it, but I imagine it must be quite an exciting championship battle at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly was in that second race as they both found themselves in the pit lane and crashing on the same lap. So there you go. But it will help you. Congratulations on 2 wins tonight, James, and thanks for chatting to us as well.
All right, thank you guys. See you later.
Thanks very much, James Barry there chatting to us at the end. Jamie Bird is what I was thinking about next because he's going to be coming up next. Second place in race number 2. Sorry again. Congratulations, Jamie, on second place in the end. How are you feeling at the end of race 2? Not quite being able to hang on for the win.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks, Ewan. Yeah, all I deserved. I think I could hear crew chief saying that James is setting laps a second or so quicker than me, and I was looking at the relative, thinking I haven't got enough gap. Just trying not to make a mistake, and I thought maybe I could hang on to him on the last lap to see if I could get him back, but he was just so quick through. As soon as you go through the cutting all the way round to Forest Elbow, I thought it is what it is, but I'm still happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after race number 1. What happened in race 1, and how much was the pressure on for you to recover to get back in the top 10 as well?
I was just saying to Luke, you probably caught the end of the conversation about spinning twice in Forest Elbow. And yeah, I took more wing off than I wanted to in qualifying, and it felt good. But I gambled on keeping that wing off for the first race, and it just started to get loose too early. And I did think about keeping out of trouble and just finishing 11th and letting, I think it was Marcus, finish 10th. But then I thought, I don't know, if there's something happens behind me and I'm in pole, perhaps I can hang on. And it nearly went that way.
Just to let you know, Jamie, as well, we did see your spin twice in Forest Elbow.
Oh, thank you, James. Thank you.
No worries, mate.
It looked like you were trying very hard to break the rear left suspension somehow, because you managed to hit it twice, but it looked fine. So there we go. And of course, it worked out all right in the end with the second race result. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
To you guys, as always, you, James, and all the guys that do the broadcast for RRS. Yeah, just to keep it up. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much for chatting to us, and congratulations again on second in race 2.
Thank you. Cheers, Ewan. Thanks, James.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much. Jamie Bird, second place in race number 2 tonight. Luke Crowley was 4th in race number 2. Was he 4th?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, he was. We'll try to go in finishing position order here in race number 2. So to Luke Crowley next. Welcome in, Luke. Good to have you with us. And congratulations on finishing in 4th place in race number 2. How did you find that here tonight? Because it felt to me like maybe you got a bit stuck in traffic in race number 1, and then at race 2 you managed to show yourself up in 4th in the end. How do you feel that went?
No, you've got the wrong end of the stick there. As far as I'm concerned, 4th without crashing into the wall is a win. So I am quite happy to have just finished those 2 races without incident. So yeah, this is my what is it, second time I've ever raced here. So I just have no confidence in the car or anything. So I'm quite happy to have just gotten back alive.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, second time
Okay.
ever in this car, or second time ever full stop?
Second time ever full stop. I've done some GT3 practice around here not long ago, but I never raced. I did an official race in the SR10 on Tuesday. That's all I've done before tonight.
How long you been on iRacing for?
About since 2021.
Yeah, but you race radicals regularly, and Bathurst's always on the calendar. How do you miss it?
I have only been racing radicals for about 9 months.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
pre-seasoned.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's not
fair
been on the season. And if it has, I've
No.
skipped it.
Oh, you
If it has, I've
chick-
skipped it, mate.
You chicken, Luke Crowley.
I bought the track because Simon bullied me into doing the endurance race, which I never did.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
yeah,
I
I've just
never.
never done it. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I was just holding on for dear life, mate. I was pushing. I was trying to catch Mike in the feature, and yeah, I pushed a bit too hard. Ended up locking up a couple of times and nearly in the wall. And I was like, nah, 4th place is fine, and just backed off a bit.
I'm so
So-
glad you kept that sentence clean there.
And suddenly it all makes a whole lot more sense here tonight. But yeah, still finished in 4th place in race number 2 is not a bad effort whatsoever. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just the guys that won. James, did great. Jamie had a great feature race as well. He did really well. We just disappeared in the front. And Phil, he was catching me. In both races, he was right behind me, so he had a really good night. So yeah, shout out to those guys.
Well, thanks for chatting to us again, Luke, and hopefully we'll see you again next week if we do. But anyway, thanks for chatting to us tonight.
All right, cheers, guys.
See you later, mate.
Cheers. Luke Crowley there, 4th place in race number 2, just as he said, there ahead of Phil Glover, who finished in 5th position in race 2. Welcome in, Phil. Good evening. How did you find, especially race number 2? You showed some very good speed indeed there, finishing in the top 5 in the end.
Yeah, race 2 went pretty well. I mean, it's always a bit of a race of jeopardy with the concrete so close to you, and you really got to stop thinking about that, because as soon as you start thinking about that, you drive and you tend to make mistakes. It kind of beckons you to it. So I felt myself sort of 3/4 of the way sort of getting a bit distracted, and then I focused on trying to catch Luke, which I was catching him actually, although I think he probably slowed his pace down a little bit.
No, he literally did say you were catching him, Phil.
Right. Okay. Well, so I mean, he's a really good driver. So I'll take that. I was quite happy with that. And equally, Josh is pretty good, and I managed to leave him. So although again he might have had damage, I don't know. But anyway, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great drive from watching from up here. I mean, the thing especially I noticed this time round was the wheel-to-wheel racing. As you mentioned, you were able to leave Josh behind in the end, but before that, you did have to fight him off wheel-to-wheel as well, which I know I've not been here for a while, but I've not seen from you much this in the past. How has that been in terms of getting better at wheel-to-wheel racing? And you know, that was a proper defence there in that race.
I listened to James' frustration. I thought, if I keep doing this, he's going to have a heart attack. bless him. So, James, how was that? Was that a
Oh,
little
dude,
bit
I was such like a little proud father. I even said mid-broadcast, I'm so proud of you. You're racing, your aggression to defend was coming along as well. All I said is if we could just get that little bit of aggression with that consistency while you're doing it, because you defended from LeMay in second and you made a mistake. You defended from LeMay again and just made a mistake into turn number 1. And if you can just defend and not make the mistakes and come out the other side, I think you'll be there. I'm so happy for you, Phil. I think you're doing amazing.
I need to speak to Paul Clark because he's pretty good at that, isn't he?
Oh, dude, that guy's an immovable object. So, yeah, speak to him about it. But you are doing, I was proud of you, Phil. You're doing amazing.
Yeah. So it did make up for my qualifying, which was pretty poor, wasn't it? I didn't get a lap
in, did he?
Yeah. I didn't get a lap in, no.
Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing. So the first race, I suppose I think I made maybe a couple of places up on start of the race. But yeah. Anyway, I can't tell you where we are next week this time, James.
Mate, you're in Lagos, the best racetrack in the world.
Do you think?
Yeah. What do you mean, do I think? Yes, I do. If anybody's sitting at home and can tell me what them chimneys are on the screen as well, by anybody, in the mountain.
Yeah, they are.
That would be
Awesome
absolutely
chimneys.
amazing. I'd be interested to know what they are as well. So if
It's
anybody...
probably kangaroo drying facilities or something like that. Skin drying, yeah.
Kangaroo drying facilities.
Yeah, maybe.
What are you talking about?
Maybe there's smoking kangas underneath there as well. So there we go. Right, anyway.
On that bombshell, Sheila, I better be off.
Yeah, anyone you want to thank? Anyone you want to thank before we let you go with, Phil?
Well, I'll give a shout out to Jamie because he did pretty well, didn't he, tonight?
He did.
Apart from race 1. And obviously it's nice to see James back, but if he keeps coming in and winning, yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Going to kick him back out again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I look forward to seeing you where we are next week.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Thanks very much,
I've
Phil.
already forgotten.
You're in Lagos, Phil.
That's it, yeah.
All
See you
right, mate.
later.
Bye.
See it. That's Phil Glover chatting to us at the end. It looks like almost everybody's coming to have a chat with us.
We can't pull in everybody, dude. We'll be here all night. Otherwise, Daryl's going to be throwing fits at me. So pick one. Pick any one of the last two. One more.
We'll go with Simon then, since he is a championship contender. We'll chat to him a little bit about that. Simon, welcome in. Good to have you with us. And, congratulations on race 1 and I guess commiserations on race number 2, I guess we should say. We'll start on race number 1. I thought it was a great battle between the 4 of you, effectively. In the end, I think Paul LeMay was able to just sneak through and finish ahead of you. But how was that first race of the day when, 4 the fastest drivers, you 4 the fastest at the front were battling away at the front?
Yeah, I was enjoying that. I thought I could have got Paul around the outside of the chase, but we clashed in the middle, and then nearly took George out coming back. And I'd got damage then, so just even that tiny little damage was just knocking a couple of kilometres an hour off my top speed, so I couldn't get back to him. So that was that one. Once that had happened, then the second race, I had another one of my weird spins behind, touching somebody from behind, which happened at Alton as well, didn't it? And somehow it damaged the rear end of the car. I think I just slammed down on the curb, and then the car was almost uncontrollable, and I just kept spinning. And then I eventually ran into Darren, who'd spun in the thing, and then once I got in the pits and repaired my car, I could just drive normally then. Everything was good again.
Yeah, we did see a couple of your incidents, Simon, as well, just to point that out to you.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Every time I touched a curb, the car was just almost uncontrollable if I touched a curb with the right-hand side of the car. So I was driving as careful as I could, but I caught myself out a couple of times. I just couldn't. It was just really weird.
Yeah. Well, how are you viewing the championship battle now with yourself and Paul LeMay? You did gain a few of those points back again in race number 2. It must be still very close between the two of you, though.
Yeah, it must be close. It's a pity that Paul had an incident as well. I was also in that second race. I had to back out playing chicken with James on the first lap. So I thought, I'm going to get good points here, and then that happened. And then Paul had his incident. So in the end, we're about equal points again for the 2 races. So I think it'll still be pretty equal.
Yeah, if what's right, I'm reading in iRacing at the moment. Paul is ahead by 3 points. He's on 390. You're on 387.
Yeah, right. So it's down to the last race.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say it's almost a sort of winner-takes-all situation, almost.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to add the missing race. We'll see, because the Road Atlanta never went ahead because the iRacing crashed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we've got 1 or 2 races to go.
Yeah, good point. We'll have to try and clarify that as well. But anyway, it is still very close. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before we let you go?
Go on, let's give James, comes back, wins both races, just drives into the
Sound like
distance.
you're not pleased.
I was a little bit annoyed with him that he was playing chicken with me in the second race, or maybe I was playing chicken with him. I don't know. So I was grumbling a bit about him to myself, but he's done nothing wrong. He's done fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for coming to have a chat with us, Simon, and we'll see you next week for what could be a very exciting championship finale indeed. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you then.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Simon Edwards chatting to us at the end of today. Well, that will just about be it here tonight from Bathurst. I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Good couple of races. Good couple of close finishes as well in both races, and a championship fight that is going to go right down to the wire, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I'm not here. Just like to point that out to Mike as well. I am with my son at
Part-time.
Shut up, you. I'm with my son at Santa Pod, unfortunately. So if anybody is around Santa Pod next weekend, come and say hi. I am up there in the juniors with my boy doing drag biking. So yeah, I'm not here. So I do apologise again.
But mostly to Mike, who seems to be the most.
He's the only one that seems to care that I'm not here. So you know what I mean. Sorry, Mike.
Oh dear. Well, there we go. That's just about it for the Radical Race series here tonight. Big thanks to everyone who's been tuned in tonight. We'll be back next week in Telagos, the best place to end a season, of course. 10 laps in the first race, 16 in the second, and a championship on the line as well. Very much hope you can join us for that for then. From myself, Ian Leary and James Parfitt, goodbye from Bathurst, and we'll see you in 1 week's time for the finale. Goodbye for now.